I'm Joe.
And I'm Ben.
And we're the Bourbon Boys. Let's pour a glass. All right. Well, welcome back. Glad to have you again. We got Nick again. Nick the neighbor is back for another round here. And this time we're breaking out the little book. This is chapter 4. My wife and my daughter, God love them, waited in line for Christmas for me.
That's awesome.
And spent more money than they should have. This is $125, and it comes with this super cool little case that Jim Beam products really like to use, and it's kind of cool. I won't even lie. It's pretty slick. Makes it look special. But so little book is Freddie No. So does this, who is Booker's grandson, and Booker's obviously created like not created, but popularized the barrel strength bourbon, kind of brought it back into the mainstream from what it was, 100 plus years ago. And so he decided to do his own little twist on it. He calls it Little Book because that's what his grandfather called him all the time, was Little Book. So he blends different ones. This one is called, I think, Lessons Learned is what he calls it, but chapter 4. Mm-hmm. It's a blend of 4 bourbons. Anywhere from 4 years to 12 years, I think. They don't really say the blend that they have on it. But the interesting, I think, thing of this one is one of the blends that they put in there is a rice-based bourbon. It's got rice as one of the grains in it. So they just recently came out with the Basil Hayden that also has a rice bill in it. Is that the toasted one?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think it's the
Not
toasted
sure,
one.
okay.
So it's got a rice grain, and I saw that, and I'm wondering if that was related to this in some way. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Basil Hayden not the same as this. This is 122 proof, and Basil Hayden is always at 80. But and other side though, it's pricey. This was 125. I think chapter 5 is up from that now.
Oh wow.
I don't know, but it's pretty dang pricey.
Okay.
But we're going to, as you can see, we have sampled this once before, but it's been
Long time. We
over a
had
year.
it at Christmas when you got it.
Yeah, it's been over a year ago that we have broken this open, so I'm kind of curious what this is like now.
I like the color on it. It's a
It is
nice
very dark.
Isn't
color.
it? I know it is. It's a deep amber color.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bottle. It's a pretty presentation
Yeah.
box, and it's just it looks delicious in that
It
dark
does.
amber color, doesn't it?
It looks like dessert.
So we'll pour a little bit there.
It's always cool to me how they kind of package these things, right? Little book, and they have different chapters.
Yeah.
That's
It's cool, right?
And it's got to be fun for, I mean, sure, you got the steady bourbon that you're putting out all the time, right? But it's got to be super fun for these guys to come up with like a different blend, like Freddie No. And I believe that he's built a whole different like distillery at Jim Beam, a little blending place, more like a craft style.
Right.
One that's smaller, and he works on ones and he blends them and comes up with his ideas, and it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a good time.
Well, and it goes to, right, this says that there's a story behind this. And again, back to why you share bourbon, tell stories, and this tells a story, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
Dude, I love that. Yeah. They all want a story. And Jim Beam's the real deal. They got the story.
Got the story.
They own the story.
Yep.
There's a lot of smaller distilleries pulling up and kind of trying to latch on to
This is something. Yeah.
old stories, right? But they own it. Wow. Woo!
That's hot.
It brings it, doesn't it? You
Yeah.
know that's a high proof one.
Proof,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's interesting because you can smell it. You
Yeah.
don't get to taste
No.
it first, but when you swallow, it comes
Yeah.
kind of back through.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Yeah.
It's very
It-
different.
It's very different. It must be that rice that's
Yeah.
making that different scent.
It's very sweet.
Very sweet. Yeah.
I mean, much sweeter than most Beam bourbons. I mean, that's not the profile I get on most Beam products, is that super sweet. Well, the knob 12 is super sweet.
Yes, it is.
But this is a different. That's like candy sweet. This is, I don't know, just a lot of brown sugar. A lot of brown sugar. And some cinnamon, like cinnamon and brown
100%,
sugar.
yeah.
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 Boy, I like that.
Yeah, cinnamon and
And I just imagine this is what people back in the day, this is the bourbon they drank, right? Like it's, it's true. Has all the flavor profiles. You can really taste the,
Wow,
the
it's got
barrel
a lot.
in it.
yeah, you can smell the barrel.
I gotta say, when we
Yes.
tasted this the first time, I remember really tasting the rice. You could taste like that rice flavor in it, like a brown rice flavor. But I'm not getting that this time. And you know, when you open a bottle and you get a little air in there and let it sit for, and this has been sitting for a year since we've opened it, it's amazing to me how it sometimes changes
Yeah.
it.
I get a little bit after I've swallowed and sit there
Yeah.
for a minute. I get the rice back in,
A
but I don't
little
get it
bit.
initially. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do it in this one. So we did this one. This is one of the first ones
look
that I
at that.
noticed that the ice. I know you can't see this on the camera, but the ice cubes.
Take over
And
for it.
we've determined. So this is one of the first ones where I noticed that the ice cubes sank in the glass at 122. But since then, we just did one recently that was 114, and the ice cubes were floating.
Yeah.
So I know I did one. I recently had a bourbon that was 116, and the ice cube sank in that one. So that must be
The tipping point.
115 must be the tipping point for the float to sink ratio.
Any
So-
chemist out there, let us know.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm kind of curious. I only know by trial and error. Let's see, does that change it at all? Well, that really tames it down.
It does
doesn't
tame it, yeah. It's not as hot.
That tames it on the sip. You know what? Even though it was hot, right out, that's definitely improves it.
Yeah.
On the sip and the finish, but in the middle
Yeah.
you still get a lot of the good
Yeah,
flavors.
and I don't mind. I don't mind the heat a little
Yeah.
bit as long as it doesn't. I don't like the heat when it sits like it
Sits right
sits
there,
here
yeah.
and burns.
Yeah.
But I like it when it pops through. But yeah, that just a little ice,
Yeah,
a little
just
water
a little bit.
really tames that down a lot. That is super nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the flavors I'm getting off that. It's yeah, I think mostly like brown sugar, sweet, and
Caramel.
cinnamon, a little caramely, and just a little bit of oak, but not.
Yeah, I get the barrel pretty good, which
Oh,
I enjoy.
yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
enjoy. Yeah.
I remember this is better than what I remember it the first time I tasted it. But we're gonna finish these glasses. We're gonna sit around and bullshit a little bit, and we'll finish this, and we'll come back with our final thoughts on this.
All right.
All right, so as you can see, we had no problem finishing this glass today. Easy. Little Book Chapter 4. What can I say? It was very interesting. We talked about it a lot off camera there, and like I said, it's a blend, and it's very complex. There's a lot of flavors going on in there. It's hot. I mean, you feel the proof, but it's not a bad hot. It's not a hot that sits down
The heartburn.
in your heartburn, but it just brings, you feel it through your whole mouth, and you feel that you're drinking a high proof product. We add a little ice to it, that really helped. It really helped even it out,
Yes,
and
it
you
did.
could kind of pick through the flavors a little bit more.
Yep.
Because that first one is just so much coming at you at one time.
Yep.
Really. But we talked about it, that it's not this is not something you drink every day.
No.
This is not an everyday bourbon. This is not a campfire bourbon, is all I could call them, where you sit around and pass the bottle. This is something you want to sit, you bring it out. It's super interesting, and it's enjoyable, but it's I won't say work, because that's not that, but you want to what is
Complex,
that?
yeah.
It's just so much going on. Get a lot of sweetness. After adding the ice and it was sitting for a little while, towards the end of it, I was getting a little bit of the nuttiness from like the Jim Beam that I'm associated with Jim Beam products, but a lot of cinnamon, a lot of sweetness, a lot of brown sugar stuff, and it was pleasant to drink. but it's 125. This was 125 bucks. Now I looked it up before this, and it's going anywhere from about 180 or 90 bucks up to 300 is what I've seen it for sale for. Even at 125, it's
Steep.
interesting. Right.
Yeah.
This is like a conversation piece. You bring this out. You don't sit and drink glass after glass. You bring this out in like a sampling group, or when you're with people, you're trying different stuff.
A nice dessert after dinner or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
A one and done.
It's
Yeah.
a one and done
Yeah.
kind of thing, and it's enjoyable. If you get a chance to try it, I would try it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super interesting. I wouldn't, at $125, I wouldn't probably buy another bottle of this.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. It's just too much. At 50, 60 bucks, I would buy another bottle because it's that
It's super interesting.
super interesting, and it's enjoyable to drink.
Yeah.
It is, and it changed throughout. And even if I sit here, I have like this after red hot taste in my mouth, right?
Yeah.
The cinnamon is still there.
Yeah.
Right. It's not really left, which isn't bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just we've been done for a few minutes here, and you kind of lose that taste off of a lower proof bourbon, and
Right.
it still kind of
Yes,
sits.
the finish is long, which I like.
Yeah.
I enjoy a nice long finish. And you guys described it as cinnamon toast crunch, and you said animal crackers, because
Yeah.
it does have that kind of
Sweet.
and kind of weedy and doughy
Yeah.
Yeah.
scent to it. I don't know if that's, and you get a little bit. The first time I drank it, I really tasted and got the brown rice feel off of it. This time, I got a little bit, like hints, undertones of that
I
brown
agree
rice,
with that.
and like kind of baker's
Yeah.
scents and dough, like kind of thing coming from.
And it was interesting how fast it changed, right?
Yeah.
You would get sweet, then you'd get kind of the rice or the doughy, and then you'd hit the cinnamon again at the end. It was very complex. Good, but not a daily drinker.
Yeah, yeah. This is
I
when
think
you,
you
want to
get
sit
burnt.
and
You get burnt out if you had
Yeah.
this
yeah,
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
And like I said, the high proof was, you're drinking high proof, but it wasn't an unpleasant high proof. It wasn't sitting and burning. It was quite pleasant. So I'm going to give this one's weird because I'm going to give it like a 3.5 to a 4 probably on the flavor, because just the interest of it, and just how fun it was kind of the drink. But the value, I'm only giving it like a 2.5 probably, average at best. 2.5. It's just not, it's not one I'm like, God, I got to get another bottle of that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And I'm gonna go 3.5, 4 on the flavor. I really liked it. It was robust, and it lasted long. I knew I was drinking a quality bourbon.
Yeah.
A 3 on the value or the price of it. Because it was good, and it was a good flavor. I've had higher proof bourbons where it's just all alcohol.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're like, I just spent $100 and something on that, and I can't even get a flavor out of it. That was not the case for this. There was a lot of flavor.
I would
so,
agree with you on that.
tons.
Yeah.
So I would give it around a 3 on the value.
That's a
That's
valid.
good.
That's a very valid point. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
And I'm kind of along the same road. Yeah, there's so much going on. I'm gonna go like 4 on the flavor. But yeah, with that threshold seems to be right around 100 that we start to see like diminishing returns. But this, like you said, it is weird. I'm gonna have to say probably about a 3.2 for the value. I mean, it's super complex and lots going on.
Yeah, if you get a chance to get this at a bar
Yeah.
for a shot at a reasonable
Definitely get
price,
some.
I would get it, because it is fun to drink and it's
Yes.
interesting. But
It'll
not
test
something-
your palate.
Right,
a
it's
lot.
not something you need to have on your bar.
Right.
in your bar,
Yeah.
right?
If you're with your buddies at a bar, maybe not get it. You're out with your wife, girlfriend for anniversary, something like that. Get it with a nice dessert.
Yeah.
Try it. Flavors are complex. Would go really well for a nice kind of
Yeah, it's super
date night.
enjoyable to drink. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have been a little low. I mean, you guys make super
Like-
valid. You guys
It's all
make super
personal.
valid points.
It's all
No, and I'm
personal
with you. Like I
preference.
said, you get the higher, and like I said, you get a higher proof one, and all you're getting is the alcohol.
Yeah.
And that is not this one
No.
at all. So this is a masterfully crafted bourbon, and it's super fun to drink. So
Yeah.
yeah. but it's $125, and like I said, more now. It's even more. It's just a high price point for me.
Yeah.
I have a hard time spending
totally
that much money.
totally get you.
Agree.
But
Yeah.
great gift. This is a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey. It was
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
she might watch this.
She never watches.
No.
She hears me enough. She doesn't even
Right.
talking on her phone, right?
If my wife's watching, I'll take one for a gift.
There you go.
Very nice.
good.
So if you have any comments, any critiques, please let us know. Thanks for being back again,
Appreciate
Nick.
it.
Thank you.
Love having
Thanks,
you here.
guys.
I hope we can do this again some
Definitely.
more. Until next time, guys. Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks.